The connection between diet and mental health is far deeper and more consequential than many realize, and among the most disturbing findings in recent years is the growing link between ultra-processed food consumption and mental illness. Depression and anxiety, two of the most pervasive and debilitating psychological disorders worldwide, have seen a sharp rise parallel to the modern reliance on highly processed, nutritionally empty foods. While often dismissed as unrelated, mounting scientific evidence suggests that the very same products that dominate grocery stores, school cafeterias, and office break rooms may be fueling a silent epidemic of mental distress. Ultra-processed foods are, by design, hyperpalatable but nutritionally void. They flood the body with refined sugars, unhealthy fats, and synthetic additives, while depriving it of the essential vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants necessary for brain health. Nutrients such as B vitamins, omega-3 fatty acids, magnesium, zinc, and tryptophan play crucial roles in the synthesis of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, chemicals responsible for mood regulation, stress response, and emotional stability. When these nutrients are consistently absent from the diet, the brain suffers in ways that are not always immediately visible but which can be deeply debilitating. One of the primary mechanisms by which ultra-processed foods appear to contribute to depression and anxiety is chronic inflammation. These foods, rich in refined carbohydrates, trans fats, and artificial ingredients, promote a persistent, low-grade inflammatory response in the body. Inflammation is now understood to be a major factor in the development of mental illness. Elevated inflammatory markers have been found in individuals with clinical depression, and inflammation can directly affect the brain's ability to regulate mood and respond to stress. This is not just theoretical, it is a measurable, biological reality that links what we eat with how we feel. Furthermore, the gut-brain axis, a critical communication pathway between the gastrointestinal system and the brain, is highly sensitive to dietary quality. A diet dominated by ultra-processed foods damages the gut microbiome, leading to dysbiosis and weakening the gut barrier. This can allow inflammatory compounds to enter the bloodstream and reach the brain, contributing to neuroinflammation. The gut produces a significant portion of the body's serotonin, often referred to as the feel-good neurotransmitter. When the gut is compromised by poor diet, serotonin production and regulation are disrupted, increasing vulnerability to depressive symptoms. The psychological impact of ultra-processed foods also extends to mood volatility, fatigue, and cognitive fog. High glycemic meals from sugary snacks, white breads, and sweetened beverages cause sharp spikes and crashes in blood sugar, which can trigger irritability, anxiety, and mental fatigue. Many individuals report feeling emotionally drained or low after eating fast food or packaged snacks, not recognizing that these reactions are not merely personal or psychological, but a physiological response to poor nourishment. Over time, these fluctuations can mimic and even contribute to the onset of mood disorders. Children and adolescents are particularly vulnerable. Their brains are still developing, and their nutritional needs are especially high. Yet they are among the heaviest consumers of ultra-processed foods, often due to targeted advertising, school vending machines, and the convenience sought by busy parents. The result is a growing body of evidence linking poor dietary patterns in youth with increased risk of anxiety, behavioral issues, attention deficits, and later-life depression. This is not a minor concern. It is a public health crisis in the making, with long-term consequences for emotional resilience, academic performance, and social development. Even more troubling is the false reassurance that ultra-processed foods are simply harmless treats or comfort foods. While the emotional appeal of these products is real, particularly during periods of stress or fatigue, the comfort they provide is fleeting and deceptive. What follows is often a worsening of the very symptoms people sought to soothe: sadness, anxiety, fatigue, or guilt. This creates a vicious cycle of emotional eating and emotional instability, reinforcing dependence on foods that continue to degrade mental health. It's a trap, one set by a food industry that prioritizes profit over well-being and sustained by a culture that undervalues the link between diet and emotional life. In the long term, diets high in ultra-processed foods do more than undermine physical health. They hollow out the foundations of mental resilience. They promote inflammation, destabilize blood sugar, damage the microbiome, and starve the brain of the raw materials it needs to function. And because the effects often unfold slowly and invisibly, they are easy to dismiss until depression or anxiety becomes chronic, resistant to treatment, or disabling. Medication and therapy, while important, cannot fully compensate for a diet that systematically damages the brain. The mental health crisis and the rise of ultra-processed food consumption are not separate phenomena. They are deeply intertwined, and the evidence continues to build. If we hope to address the root causes of rising psychological distress, we must begin by confronting the food systems that feed it. Because what we eat doesn't just shape our bodies, it shapes our minds, our moods, and ultimately, our capacity to live full, connected, and emotionally balanced lives.